In this lesson, we will create the second floor of the building. The second floor will be the same as the first floor. The two floors will be connected by an internal staircase, which I will create in the following lessons. Before creating the second floor, I will select the existing floor, right-click on it, and make all the entities a group. Now, I will copy the first floor and place the copy on top of it to create the second floor. So, I will activate the Move tool and click on the bottom corner of the external walls to define the base point. To create the copy, I'll press the Ctrl key once and click on the upper corner of the external wall, which is perpendicular to the base point. At this point, I will remove the door from the upper floor. To do this, I will double-click to edit the group, select the door, and press the Delete key. However, the opening of the door remains. To close this opening, I will activate the Push-Pull tool and extrude the upper face of the opening to the base of the second floor. Now, I will create a window where the door was. As I have shown you in previous lessons, to create the window opening, I need to create some auxiliary lines first. So, I will activate the Tape Measure tool and create an auxiliary line 1 meter higher from the base of the second floor to define the sill height. Since the window's length is 2 meters, I will create 2 more reference lines, one 2 meters on the left of the wall's edge and the other 4 meters on the left of the wall's edge. At last, I will create the last reference line, which will be 0.8 meters lower from the upper edge of the wall. Now that I have created all the auxiliary lines that I need, I will activate the Rectangle tool to create the opening's boundaries, and I will use the Push-Pull tool to subtract the volume of the rectangular region. Since I do not need the auxiliary lines anymore, I will activate the Eraser tool to delete them. To create the window itself, I will copy one of the existing windows in the opening I just created. I will change the visual style to X-ray, so I can see the window I want to copy. Then I will activate the Move tool, click on the midpoint of the side of the opposite window, and copy it into the opening. Since the window was placed correctly, I will change the visual style back to Construction again. The next step is to create the floor opening for the staircase. To create this opening, I will double-click to edit the group of the second floor's objects. Next, I will activate the Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle on the second floor's surface. So, I will click on the corner of the interior wall and move the cursor towards the opposite wall to set the direction. Since the opening's length will be 7.2 meters and its width 1.4 meters, I will type 7.2, 1.4, and press Enter. To remove this rectangular surface, I will select it and press Delete. Notice that the opening was created. I'll click somewhere in the scene to exit group editing. Now I will create 9 steps. As for the length of each step, it will be 1.4 meters and the width 0.55 meters. To create the first step, I will activate the Rectangle tool, click on the corner of the opening, type 0.55, 1.4, and press Enter. Then I will activate the Push-Pull tool, move the cursor downward, and type the number 0.3 and press Enter. Since I want each step to be a solid object, I will select all the entities that compose the step, right-click on them, and select the Make Component option. In the Create Component window, I will type the name of the solid and click on Create. To create the rest of the steps, I'll activate the Move tool, click on the upper left corner, then press Ctrl once, and finally click on the bottom left corner of the step to create a copy. In order not to repeat this process again and again, while the Move tool is still active, I will type the letter X and the number 9 and press Enter. Notice that indeed, 9 copies were created, and now there is a staircase with 9 stairs.